How's it going, everybody? Daner here with North Central Coins, and welcome back to another episode of the most rare and valuable coins in American history. Today, I'm going to be counting down the top 10 most valuable Indian head cents, or more commonly known as Indian head pennies. The Indian head penny was a 1-cent coin produced by the United States Bureau of the Mint from the years 1859 to 1909. It was designed by James Barton Longacre, who was the chief engraver at the Philadelphia Mint. Before 1857, the cent was a copper coin about the size of a $half. However, the discovery of gold in California caused large inflation in prices, and as gold became more abundant, the price of copper rose. Cent and half-cent manufacture was one of the only profit centers for the mint, and by 1850 it began looking for alternatives. In 1857, the mint reduced the size of the cent and changed the composition to 12% nickel and 88% copper. They also issued a new design, the Flying Eagle cent. The Flying Eagle cent was almost identical to modern pennies in diameter, though slightly thicker. This was the first use of copper nickel for United States coins. The copper nickel made them look brighter, and they began to be called the white cent or nicks. In 1858, the Flying Eagle was replaced with the Indian head design. The Flying Eagle design caused production difficulties, and the mint soon looked to replace it. Mint director James Ross Snowden selected the Indian head design and chose a laurel wreath for the reverse, which was replaced in 1860 by an oak wreath with a shield. During the American Civil War, cents were hoarded as the metal nickel was in short supply. As Mint officials saw the privately issued bronze tokens were circulating, they induced Congress to pass the Coinage Act of 1864, authorizing a slimmer cent of bronze alloy. In the post-war period, the cent became very popular and was struck in large numbers in most years. One exception was the year 1877, when a poor economy and little demand for cents created one of the rarest dates in the series. With the advent of coin-operated machines in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, even more cents were produced, reaching 100 million for the first time in the year 1907. In the year 1909, the Indian head cent was replaced by the Lincoln cent designed by Victor D. Brenner. So we have covered a brief history of the Indian cent. It is definitely one of the most iconic coins in American history, and some of these can be worth an absolute fortune. And in today's video, I'm going to break down the top 10 most valuable Indian head pennies of all time. Before I do get into this video, I would really appreciate if you guys would hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also hit that bell notification so you can see my new videos as they are being released. In the past, I've made several videos detailing the rare and valuable coins from America, Canada, Australia, Britain, New Zealand, and several other countries, and I'm going to be making plenty more in the future. So make sure to stay tuned for those. But what do you say we get into today's list and count down the top 10 most valuable Indian head pennies? Let's get it, guys. So as I start this list off, I'm going to work my way from the least valuable coin on this list being number 10 all the way up to the most valuable Indian head cent on this list being number 1. So what do you say we start things off with number 10, which is going to be the 1860 pointed bust Indian head cent. So to get the absolute max value out of this coin, you do need to identify the variety for the pointed bust. Now to identify this, what you need to do is look to the bottom left of the portrait of the Indian on the obverse of the coin. And if it looks slightly more pointed than rounded on the bottom left hand side, then you might have one extremely rare American penny that can be worth all the way up to $45,000 if it reaches the high MS mark. Some of these will be worth some decent money on the low end, but this penny is only worth around $10 if it is beat up and on the low end of the Sheldon scale. Number 9 is going to be the 1868 Indian head cent. Now you don't have to identify any errors or varieties for this penny. The 1868 has an overall mintage of 10,266,500. Now this coin sees some pretty significant price jumps as the grade increases, but it is actually quite valuable on the low end. It can be worth around $1,250 on the low end of the Sheldon scale, and all the way up to $48,000 when you start to hit the high MS mark, and that is for the 1868 American Indian head cent, and these are all with the red designation also. Pennies can be given different color designations. They can be given red, they can be given red, brown, or brown. Usually red is the most desirable and valuable of the different color designations. A coin can still be very valuable if it is in a red, brown, or brown condition, but usually not nearly as valuable if it has that red attribution. Number 8 on this list is going to be the 1909 S Mint mark, indicating it was struck at the San Francisco Mint Indian head cent. Now the 1909S has an overall mintage of 309,000, which makes it a key date and extremely desirable for collectors, and you can be assured that that adds quite a premium to the coin. It can be worth around $1,500 on the low end of the Sheldon scale, so that holds quite a premium even if it is pretty beat up and worn. But this Indian head penny, the 19OS San Francisco Mint, can be worth all the way up to $72,000 when you start to hit the high MS range, and also if you get that red color designation. Number 7 is the 1872 American Indian head cent. Now the overall mintage for 1872 is 4,042,000. This penny can be pretty valuable on the low end. It can be worth around $3,130 even if it's on the low end of the Sheldon scale. And this one can be worth all the way up to $74,400 if you hit the high MS mark, and it also gets the red color attribution. Number 6 is going to be the 1873 Indian head cent, and you need to actually identify a variety or error for this, and it is with a doubled liberty. To identify this, you want to look at the headband on the portrait of the Indian on the obverse of the coin, and you want to identify doubling on the liberty wording. I will put an example up of what you want to look for, but if you can identify this doubling and it gets the red designation, even the red-brown designation, if it scores on the low end, it can be worth around $8,750 and all the way up to $78,000 for a high MS example. Now the overall mintage for 1873 is 11,676,500, and this is a pretty rare error and there aren't too many examples out there, so it is definitely a good one to keep your eye out for. If you have any 1873 Indian head cents lying around, I definitely suggest you throw them under a microscope and give them a second look. Number 5 is going to be the 1862 American Indian head cent. Now the overall mintage for 1862 is 28,075,000. Now this one isn't too valuable on the low end. It's only worth around $8 to $10 if it's on the low end of the Sheldon scale, all beat up, worn, and through the meat grinder. But if you can find one of these and it gets the red designation and a high MS grade, it can be worth all the way up to $81,600, and that is for the 1862 Indian head cent. Number 4 is the 1888 Indian head penny, and that is with a 8/7 variety. Now the overall mintage for 1888 is 37,489,832, but it is only believed that 500 to 600 examples of this heir exist. Now to identify it, basically you want to look at the last digit in the date 1888, and if it looks like an 8 was stamped over a 7 for the last digit, then you might have one incredibly rare Indian head cent that can be worth all the way up to $81,000 even on the low end if it gets the red-brown designation, and it can be worth an extremely high premium of $120,000 if it hits the mid to high MS range. Now this is an extremely rare penny. It is not quite a key date, but it is probably the most rare and valuable of the Indian head varieties or heirs to look for, and that is the 1888 8/7 Indian head cent. Number 2 on this list is going to be the 1902 Indian head penny. Now the 1902 has an overall mintage of 87,374,704, which is a fairly high mintage for the Indian head cents. In terms of value, this penny isn't super valuable on the low end, but it is definitely a good one to look for if you are buying a scrap coin collection or maybe an estate hoard. It can be worth around $108 on the low end, even if it's beat up and worn and been through the meat grinder, and all the way up to $144,000 for a high MS example. I'm not too sure what brings the crazy premium along with this penny, considering it has such a high mintage, but it may have been that some were melted down or not many high grade examples survived. A lot of the time that is the case when a coin with a higher mintage will have an extremely high price tag. But if you guys own or have any information on any of the coins on this list or in my videos, just let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. But can you believe we have made it to number 1 on this list? I would really like to thank you guys for watching these videos, and I hope you find them helpful. If you enjoy, then please hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and also hit that bell notification so you can follow along with my videos as they are being released. And then what do you say we get into number 1 on this list, which is going to be the Holy Grail rarest Indian head scent of them all. It is pretty well known amongst American numismatists, and that is the 1877 Indian head scent. Now, the 1877 has an overall mintage of 852,500, which does make it a key date. It is not actually the lowest mintage of the Indian head series, but it is definitely one of the lowest mintage, and it is the most desirable of the Indian head scents. Collectors want this thing, and it brings an extremely high premium. It can be worth around $11,300, even on the low end of the Sheldon scale. If it is beat up, been through the meat grinder, been laying in a parking lot for years, you can still get over $10,000 for this coin. And if you can get that red color attribution and it scores high on the MS scale, it can be worth all the way up to $151,200, and that is for the 1877 American Indian head scent. Well, I think that just about does it for this one. We have broken down the top 10 Indian head scents. I would like to announce that I have partnered with Lighthouse Canada. They are one of the largest and most reputable coin supply companies in North America. They have a website with a massive selection and inventory that can cover just about everything in your coin collecting, coin roll hunting, and silver stacking needs. They have coin albums, flips, microscopes. They have solutions so you can reveal the dates on your older coins. They have all sorts of goodies. So if you enjoy the hobby of coin collecting as much as I do, then I suggest you go to lighthousecanada.ca and enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout for 20% off your order. I've also partnered with Charlton Press. They produce Canadian coin catalogs of the highest quality. If you would like to find out the values of your Canadian coins, whether they be circulation, commemorative, or special issue, then I definitely suggest you go to charltonpress.com, and you can also enter the promo code DANE20 for 20% off your order there as well. So that is lighthousecanada.ca and charltonpress.com. Enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout for 20% off of your order. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. Until the next one, everybody, peace out and have a good one, y'all.